Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Issues on Voice of the People TV. I am your host, Jerry Ekpa'S. Welcome once again to the Issues, where we delve into the wide range of topics that impact our daily lives. Our team of seasoned analysts provides a deep insight and comprehensive overviews of the matters that affect people the most. Join us as we explore the complex discussions that shape our society, equipping you with expert perspectives to navigate the path ahead. First on the agenda today, the leader of the Biafra Republic government in exile, Ekpa'S, self-acclaimed, has called on the Nigerian government to accept the results of the self-referendum conducted by his organization, which he claims shows that over 50 million people voted in favor of Biafra's self-rule. Ekpa'S, who is also known as the self-acclaimed Prime Minister of Biafra in exile, made this announcement in a statement today. According to Ekpa'S, the massive voting in favor of Biafra's self-rule is a result of long-standing marginalization by the Nigerian government. He urged Nigeria to accept the decision of Biafrans to self-rule and warned that failing to do so would lead to historic shame. Away from that, in a related development, the Ohanaeze Ndigbo, a leading Igbo social cultural organization, has strongly condemned the viral video clip on social media that calls for the mass poisoning of Yoruba and Edo people. The organization has called on security agencies to track down the perpetrators of this macabre dance and bring them to justice. The video, which appears to be posted by a user named Anyi Anambra on TikTok, features a woman identified as Amaka Patience Sonbega, urging Igbo people to poison Yoruba and Edo people. However, Ohanaeze Ndigbo has dismissed the video as coming from a deranged psychopath or a fictitious narrative. All right, still away from that, where the federal government, through the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, has given a 1-month ultimatum to traders and market stakeholders to reduce prices of goods and services nationwide. The warning was issued by the Executive Vice Chairman of the Commission, Tunji Bello, at a stakeholders engagement in Abuja. Still more, where a recent review of the government's spending on the public payments portal has uncovered significant tire-related expenditures by the President Bola Tinubu-led presidency. The review found that a whopping 366 million naira was spent on tires in just 3 days, with payments made on May 21, 2024, June 22, 2023, and June 24, 2023. The revelations have raised questions about the transparency and efficiency of public spending under the current administration, particularly given Nigeria's revenue shortages, burgeoning debt, and significant debt servicing costs. Right after this short break, we'll dig deeper into these topics and more. Don't go away as we continue our exploration. Welcome back. Let's now delve into the heart of our discussion. We started up earlier by talking about the leader of the Biafra Republic government in exile, self-acclaimed Ekpa'S, has called on the Nigerian government to accept the result of the self referendum conducted by its organization, which he claims shows that over 50 million people voted in favor of Biafra's self-rule. Ekpa'S, who is also known as the self-acclaimed Prime Minister of Biafra government in exile, made this announcement in a statement earlier today. According to Ekpa'S, the massive voting in favor of Biafra's self-rule is a result of long-standing marginalization by the Nigerian government. He urged Nigeria to accept the decision of Biafrans to self-rule and warned that failing to do so would lead to historic shame. The referendum question, Ekpa'S said, was clear and straightforward. And of course, he said, and I quote, "Do you approve this proposed declaration of the restoration of the independent state of Biafra to re-establish the lost sovereign nation of Biafra from Nigeria, which will be called the United States of Biafra, USB?" Ekpa'S claims that over 50 million people answered yes to this question as of August 29, 2024. In response to the Defense Headquarters announcement, Ekpa'S invited the DHQ spokesperson and Nigerian Minister of Foreign Affairs to participate in an upcoming Biafra convention scheduled for November 29 to December 3, 2024 in Lahti, Finland. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by two esteemed guests. Here in the studio, we have Mr. Peter Anosike. Mr. Anosike is a philosopher, development economist, and best-selling author. He is also an erudite commentator on economy, finance, politics, and power. Great to have you with us on the issues this evening.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, while we're still expecting the second guest to join us virtually, let's take our first question going to Mr. Anosike. Taking a look at is Simon Ekpa's claim of 50 million votes for Biafra's a legitimate expression of popular will or a dangerous attempt to incite unrest?
One, Simon Ekpa is working against the Igbo interest. Some agents that hated Igbo people are using Simon Ekpa to destabilize the Igbo nation. To start with, no referendum was conducted anywhere. So this is, he is just a criminal agent duping and manipulating people. That is what Simon Ekpa is, a criminal. And I'm very sure sooner than later he's going to face the wrath of his action. One, saying that one, where Igbos normally meet to discuss outside Nigeria is Houston, Texas, which has the largest number of Igbos. In Finland, we don't have up to 1,000 Igbo people living in Finland. The population of Nigerians in Finland is not more than 4,500. So this guy is a criminal looking for who to manipulate, looking for who to dupe. The issue is that he needs a psychiatric to examine his mental state, because all these fabrications, there were no referendum anywhere. Where was it conducted? Is it in Nigeria or outside Nigeria? Understand me? So he can only fool those who want to be fooled. Simon Ekpa has no capacity to even liberate a word, let alone a local government. Now talking about the Igbos. And as I say, he's nobody in Igbo land. He is nobody in Igbo land. He can only control his fellow criminals. Simon Ekpa can only control, manipulate his fellow criminals. When you're talking about Igbo people, he's nobody. He is nobody in Igbo land. And for him to conduct a referendum, he conducted it in his imagination.
All right. And of course, you would want to see an evidence to prove that. What if somehow he finds an evidence? How would you say it's
this computer age, you can manipulate anything. He can manipulate anything. So for me, I say he has no capacity for any. This is a criminal, a common criminal. That's what Simon Ekpa is.
What about those who are following him blindly?
He's fellow criminals, hiding under IPOB to commit crimes.
But we've seen situations where IPOB has said, for instance, they are not part of a social group. ESN say they are on different group, and every group saying that they are on their own, and so on and so forth. But it looks like somehow, some way, Simon Ekpa has gained popularity online, and is using that to declare himself as the Prime Minister.
He is a social media tiger. Simon Ekpa is a social media. He is manipulating people that's on the social media. If he's confident, if he's courageous enough, let him come down to the east.
All right, how credible is his claim of a self-proclaimed role as the Prime Minister of Biafra?
I say he has a mental problem. Simon Ekpa has a mental problem. He's nobody. At least for 7 years, I was the publicity secretary for Ohanaeze Ndigbo, Southwest as a whole. Southwest for 7 years. So when you want to talk about the Igbo, I joined Ohanaeze Ndigbo 2001, just 6 months after my NYSC. From 2001, and I rose to become the publicity secretary for Ohanaeze Ndigbo, Southwest Geopolitical Zone. So when you want to talk about Igbo affairs, I've never in any fora heard Simon Ekpa. Understand me? I've never in any fora heard, so he's nobody. He's not even up to a shoe shiner.
What about the history of the Biafra movement, coming from the Wazirike time down now to now? How come suddenly it looks like anybody can come in and hijack the whole situation? If, for instance, what you say is right, Simon Ekpa just coming behind the scene and looks like he's gaining the popularity.
He's not getting any popularity. He's manipulating the social media. This is the era of deepfake, that anybody can do anything with the computer. Understand? He cashed in on the vacancy which the detention of Nnamdi Kanu created. Understand? He has only his fellow criminals behind him.
All right, you can also join the conversations via the phone line. Of course, we'll be taking calls on the show this evening. All right, we already have Mr. Dele Fanimo, a seasoned journalist with several decades of experience, who will also be joining us, a fine gentleman when it comes to the profession. Great to have you, Mr. Dele Fanimo, joining us once again this evening.
Always my pleasure. Good evening.
All right, we're just talking about the claim of Simon Ekpa saying that 50 million people in a referendum where we've not seen the statistics yet, that they all voted yes, in favor of having a Biafra nation. What's your take on this claim by Simon Ekpa?
We are just glamorizing this criminal by even discussing him again today, because for you to do that, you'll be required to do a form, and that form, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, you have to send this form like a questionnaire to various groups and individuals, and you provide the link so that everybody would fill the form, append their signature into it before you can now authenticate it and say that so number of people are queuing behind you for the realization of a particular cause. When the Odua nation started their own, I saw the forms on several platforms, And people who are interested in doing that were also queuing in and filling, signing, and imputing their data. But this particular one, I have not seen anybody saying he has seen it. So where he got his own 50 million people, and what is the population of this country? That Simon Ekpa will stay in Finland and gather signatures and garner support to the point that he has over 50 million people, and nobody gets to know, even in the media. You should know that the guy is just playing to the gallery. He wants to be popular and he wants to reap.
Hello, Mr. Daily Fatima, are you still with us? All right, so of course, it seems to be a network issues there. Of course, why still expected to take calls. Talking about the Simon Ekpa situation, how does Simon Ekpa respond to accusations that his actions are exacerbating tensions and it could potentially lead to violent clashes, like we've already been seeing in the East? Kidnapping is on the rise. People are not living freely anymore in the Southeast like it used to be. The peace and tranquility that used to exist in the Southeast has evaporated.
I say people are hiding under the criminal elements led by Simon Ekpa is hiding under IPOB and committing various crimes in the Southeast. So this is just a criminal action that is going on, kidnapping, armed robbery, and so on and so forth. Understand? So Simon Ekpa is only in control of his fellow criminals. He has no base in the Southeast.
All right, let's go back to Mr. Dele Fanmo. You're just going to, you're making your own submission if you want to conclude on that.
The truth about it, I tell you, is there is nothing like 50 million followers for Simon Ekpa. And I tell you, it is better and it is expedient on the federal government and the governors of Southeast, the 5 governors, to put heads together and make sure that they rein in this criminal before it begins to do havoc. Because social media is such a free place where you can post lies and people would accept, so that it doesn't use propaganda to sway people, right thinking people in the society to believe what he's saying. This guy is just a criminal looking for avenue to make money. And if he's not reined in time, he will make so much money that he will have resources to use against the state. So I don't know what Interpol is doing. I don't know what DSS is doing. I don't know what NIA is doing, that they will allow this guy a free rein to begin to manipulate gullible people to follow him sheepishly and then begin to wreak havoc in the Southeast. It is better we rein in him as quickly as possible.
All right. Why still talking about the same situation, Mr. Anosike? The man has a lot of giant, would I say,
A lot of what?
A lot of giant and bogus plans on how he wants to achieve Biafra. And of course, we've seen various postponements of dates by him, saying that Biafra is going to be declared so day and so on and so forth. You have just said that all looks like it's a scam.
It is a very big scam. It is a very big scam.
What about the believers who believe in him that he is going to achieve it? Does it look like the reality on ground, most especially for Nigerians who are Igbos abroad, is different from the reality of what is actually on ground? Because, for instance, you can no longer travel to the East with your mind definitely at peace. Why should somebody who's abroad creating so much rancor, creating so much unrest in the Southeast, and still yet we still have people still queuing behind him and forging ahead with his own ideologies?
If you read Prince by Machiavelli. In the book, Machiavelli said that a deceiver must always find people to deceive. And that's exactly what is happening between Samuel Ekpa and those that are following him. So a deceiver will always find people to deceive. I'm also seeing the Nigerian government that's not being sincere with what Simon Ekpa is doing. Before I walk into this studio, I read that members of the National Assembly, House of Representatives, wrote to the Canadian government that they should prosecute the woman that posted about poisoning the Yoruba and the Benin. Understand me? That the members of the National Assembly wrote to the Canadian embassy. I saw what Abike Dabari did. What the woman posted is bad, but if they can take this action, why are they denigrating in the issue of Simon Ekpa? Because Simon Ekpa is causing more havoc than what the woman posted. If they can, within 24 hours, write to the Canadian embassy to rein in that woman. Ekpa has been doing this thing continuously for the last 2-3 years. And the National Assembly have not done anything. Abike Dabri have not done anything. So you can see that some people are happy with what Simon Ekpa is doing. From what the members of the House of Representatives did, you can see that some people are happy that Simon Ekpa is destroying the Southeast.
All right, talking about Mr. Dele Fadimon, in light of his controversial stance, how should the Nigerian government and international community address Simon Ekpa's influence and activities?
Started the diplomatic shuttle. Nigerian government should talk to its counterpart in Finland through diplomatic means to find a way of not just reining in Ekpa, but extradition should also be part of the game. Let them bring Ekpa to Nigeria so that yesterday they were in the diaspora, and so they don't even know what the extent of damage. To the gallery, and they are one with that.
Jump this door and
a military officer, a female military officer, was decapitated. Hello. And they even had the temerity of showing how they decapitated that woman who came on a pass to the Southeast to visit his family. And people were rejoicing over what? You are not even killing other, destroying their economy. You are making them look as if they are not part of the society. And then somebody in diaspora, because he's sitting in the comfort of his home, where the laws cannot catch up with him or her, and then begin to instigate violence, instigate treason against the state. Who does that? Are we saying that America is perfect? Are we saying America is a perfect society? But an average American will protect his or her country. Yet, somebody is destroying, you know the number of people that have lost their businesses to this crisis? Do you know how many people that have lost their lives? Now, an average Easterner cannot travel to the Southeast. He's afraid of being kidnapped. He's afraid of being killed. and you want development in that axis, and then somebody, just one person, who does not even have the intellectual capacity to drive the process, is now instigating violence, and they are supporting him. It's a shame. The government should try as much as possible to bring that guy back to Nigeria to come and face treason charges.
Okay, before we go over to the next conversation, talking about the call for Biafra, for instance, and the perceived marginalization by Biafrans from the way Nigeria has been set up, are they not actually right? Because if you take a look at it, even the last election, we saw a constant victimization of the Igbos and so on and so forth. Don't you think the way Nigeria is set up has even made people like Simon Ekpa to have legitimate reason, or other Nigerians abroad?
It's not legitimate reason.
I'm not saying this is illegitimate, I'm just asking. Is it not a reason for a lot of them to believe that since the way Nigeria has been set up, it shows that Igbos are not wanted? But let's take our first caller. Hello, good evening. You're welcome to The Issues.
Good evening. How are you?
Yeah. Tell us your name and where you're calling from, and you have.
My name is Prince, and I want to say something about that, Mr. Bailey.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from United Kingdom.
United Kingdom. Please, you have to make it 1 minute.
Mr. Bailey.
1 minute, please. All right.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Bailey. If you say someone is in abroad, sitting in his own comfort zone and is creating havoc in Nigeria, you're looking at this man as a terrorist. Why don't you think, or why don't you just accept that Nigerian government are the one creating more problems? The person this man is actually fighting for is in Nigeria, is in DSS custody. The judiciary have set this man free. Up to the apex court, they said this man is not a terrorist. Okay, why is Nigerian government still holding him? If that Mr. Dele can speak to the truth, why are they still holding him? That means they did not even respect the judgment of the apex court. Mr. Dele, you need to be you need to wake up from your slumber. You are sleeping.
All right, thank you very much.
Assuming this kind of thing happens to you, and you went to apex court and they said, okay, they should release your family or you, and the government is still holding you, what do you think your own family will talk about?
All right, Prince, your 1 minute is up so that others can call in as well. All right, okay. We're going back to Mr. Anosike.
Simon Ekpa is doing more damage to Nnamdi Kanu. Simon Ekpa is never fighting for Nnamdi Kanu. Why Simon Ekpa claimed responsibility? When 4 soldiers were killed in Ozo 1 in Nsukka, Nnamdi Kanu condemned it. Simon Ekpa claimed responsibility. So Simon Ekpa is working against Nnamdi Kanu. Anybody that says that Simon Ekpa is working for Nnamdi Kanu is totally wrong. It's totally wrong. Simon Ekpa is sabotaging Nnamdi Kanu. That's the truth.
All right, still going into another related development where there are a viral video clip on social media that calls for the mass poisoning of Yoruba and Edo people. The organization has called on security agencies to track video, which appears to be posted by a user named Anyi Anambra on TikTok, features a woman identified as Amaka patient Sunberger, urging Igbo people to poison Yoruba and Edo people. However, Nnezendigbo has dismissed the video as coming from a deranged psychopath or a facetious narrative. The organization's National Publicity Secretary, Dr. Alex Ogbonaya, stated that there is no evidence that the woman in the video is Igbo and that her actions do not reflect the character of the Igbo people. He emphasized that the Igbo people are known for their thoughtfulness, discretion, self-censure, and equanimity. Ogbonaya also pointed out that the latest call to poison food in Lagos or Ibadan could potentially harm Igbo people who may be present in those areas. He described her as a depressed, drowning ethnic bigot who is obsessed with the negative side of history and is orchestrating satanic activities. The organization reminded the younger generation that Igbo, Edo, and Yoruba people share common. I go into the question. Mr. Dele Fanimo, how should Nigerian authorities address the dangerous impact of the viral video calling for violence against Yoruba and Edo people? And what steps are needed to prevent such hate speech from escalating? We already heard the National Assembly has already written a letter to the Canadian government. And of course, she has also released a video of the Canadian passport showing she's a Canadian citizen and nothing is going to happen to her.
You see, sometimes when issues like this come up, it makes me laugh. Now, how will a woman believe that she can orchestrate mass poisoning of an ethnic group? Is he going to use tablets? Is he going to use injection? Is he going to poison the stream? Is he going to go to individual homes to poison the boreholes? No. Where is the rallying point? Is he going to use gas like the chambers in the Second World War? No. What tools will she use? What tools will she deploy to kill Yoruba and the Edo people? You see, it's just an orchestrated distraction from facing the real issues that are bothering the average Nigerian. And if we continue to escalate this kind of thing and begin to elevate all these things, we will not even treat the real issues. We'll be treating symptoms. For God's sake, who is this woman? What is the antecedents of this woman? That's why I said we don't have intelligent people in our security architecture. Within 6 hours of attempt on Trump's life,
all right, Mr. Dele Fanimo, are you still with us? All right, let's go over to Mr. Anosike. Okay, Mr. Dele Fanimo is back. All right, let's go over to Mr. Anosike.
I feel that the woman is the female version of Simon Ekpa. She is the female version of Simon Ekpa. And as Ohaneze said that she's a psychopath. She is a psychopath. And all these people that will be, if you are brave, if you are brave enough, come down here and say it. If you are brave enough, come down here and do it. That's why I'm a strong believer in regulation of the social media. Because people tend to abuse anything that is not regulated. I strongly feel that social media should be regulated to guard against all these stupid things. So the woman is a psychopath. She's mad. She is mad. And if she visits an asylum, she will never come back. So saying that you are in faraway Canada, saying that Igbo should poison the Yoruba, poison the Edos, she's not working for the Igbo interest. She wants to create an enmity between the Igbo and the Yoruba. She wants to create an enmity between the Igbo and the Benin. And that's exactly what Simon Ekpa is doing. That's exactly what Simon Ekpa is doing. That's why I said that the woman is the female version of Simon Ekpa. Understand? And these people, they have no genealogy anywhere.
All right, Mr. Dele Fanimo, if you're back with us, what are the potential consequences of ethnic relations?
I'm back.
Okay, I was going to ask, what are the potential consequences of ethnic relations in Nigeria if the calls for violence from the viral video and, of course, comments like this continue to pop up, because in Nigeria, it's a different kettle of fish. Everybody understands what is actually facing us as Nigerians. But these guys abroad, they have a different reality. They can walk in and, of course, be comfortable. So they address things differently. How can this be regulated so as to at least have an orientation for those who are living abroad? Because you are abroad doesn't mean that all of a sudden you now know you want to fight for your right, not looking at the implication of those who are back home. What considerations should they be taking?
You see, the beauty of all this, is that the average Nigerian, particularly those of us that we share the same cultural affiliation, Edo, Yoruba, Igbos, we have been so closely interwoven that one deranged person in Canada will come and begin to threaten our coexistence. I can't even imagine myself seeing an Igbo person as my enemy or seeing an Edo person as my enemy. How am I going to stand and face somebody like Peter that we have been friends for close to 25 years and then say because he's Igbo, then I must kill him? It is not part of our culture in this part of the world. It is not. It can happen in Yoruba. Do you know how many people patronize Igbos that are not Igbos? Do you know how many Igbos that patronize Yoruba? Do you know businesses that are co-owned by Yoruba, Igbos, and the Edo or Delta? And then suddenly somebody will wake up from the wrong side of his bed and say he wants to kill the other person or they know that they cannot use religion to divide us. Now they are setting up some attempted the life of Trump was killed. And his profile was in the social media. His profile was all over the world in the news. Do you know that those who participated in that riot in UK, they have mopped up almost all of them. They were picking them from their homes and arresting them. And there is no way they will not go to jail because they have ruptured the peace of that country. So why would somebody who does not even have a pedigree and then sit down in one place because the longer hand of the law is too short to pick him at the first instance, waiting for diplomatic shuttle to see if he or she can be extradited? That's why they are doing all these things. And let me tell you, for free, Nigerians are no longer gullible. You may have pockets of followers somewhere trying to disturb the peace, but I can assure you, you will not succeed because the security agencies have been given the very soon we will rein them in. Nigeria has the capacity to rein them in. And once, you see, the problem with us in this country is that most infractions are not followed up with consequences. That's why they can pick their phone, they can write anything, record any video, share it online, and then escalate it. But I can assure you, government will not sleep on this, and the security agencies will not sleep on this. It's a for the NIA and the Interpol, and I'm sure they will do the needful very soon. That they will bring them back to this country and they will face the law.
All right, but before we go over to the next conversation, we can wrap it up because of time. What happened to the national orientation agents? What happened to the unity this country used to enjoy as during Jonathan's time? What happened to how did it get so bad?
Well, it is the responsibility of the National Orientation Agency to educate Nigerians on how to be a good Nigerian. It is the duty of the National Orientation Agency to enlighten Nigerians on the dangers of social media, what some elements are doing that's with the social media. But since the time of Buhari, they were not funding the National Orientation Agency. Under Buhari, the DG of National Orientation Agency then told me that he used to be my very good friend. He said that at times that his budget is 30 million. Where can he start? Understand me? Go to the National Orientation Agency has a chapter in Ikeja here. Go there, it's dead. Nothing is going on there because the agency is not being funded. And this is a critical institution that Nigeria needs at this point in time. But government is looking the other way.
Does the body language of this government show that they have interest in the unity of this country, for instance? The body language, right from the election, even from the first election down to this recent one in 2023. Do they have the interest of the Southeast?
I can assure you that no president will want Nigeria to disintegrate under his
Is
watch.
it for the interest of the Southeast or the interest of that present government?
Igbos
Just because of the numbers.
Igbos are not asking for special preference. What Igbos want is live and let live, an egalitarian society. Understand? So talking of the unity of the country,
does not really encourage situations like this to allow people to take opportunities to say a bit marginalized.
But their words cannot disintegrate this country.
But how come the words of Simon Ekpa can do that?
The things that hold us together is more than the one that are divide us. That's what everybody should know.
Okay.
The thing that hold us together as a nation is far bigger than the ones that are divide us. Understand? So Bayo Ononoga said what he said out of frustration. They have been saying that out of frustration or provocation, but Nigeria will continue to be one.
All right. So can also Simon Ekpa is saying his own out of frustration too?
He's a criminal.
All right, but Bayo Ononoga is not a criminal.
Bayo Ononoga was a hungry man until he got an appointment from the president. So he was already frustrated. He couldn't run a newspaper. Bayo Ononoga couldn't run PM News. So he had been a hungry man until Buhari, until Tinubu rehabilitated him.
All right, okay. Mr. Dele Fadimo would like to wrap it up here because of time. I would have loved to talk about the federal government ultimatum to traders, 1 month ultimatum for them to reduce the prices of goods and services. Or we've had other conversations overwhelmed that. But your parting shot before we go. 1 minute.
That thing cannot work. Why would federal government impose that kind of sanction against private sector players who use their own hard-earned money, some taking as loan as much as 35%, and then you say they shouldn't do free market enterprise? That is not going to work. But the important thing is let the security agents wake up and do what they should do. They shouldn't allow, because
Hello, Mr. Dele Fadimo. You still with us?
agents should do their job and ensure that
All right. The network are really making it easy there for Mr. Dele Fadimo. I want to say thanks, Mr. Dele Fadimo, for being a part of the show this evening. It's always a pleasure having your thoughts. And of course, your parting shot, a minute.
What government said about giving 1 month deadline is chasing shadows. It's not going to work. People would always sell as they buy. If you have your own farm, you can dictate. If you have your own factory, you can dictate, but you don't have anything. So you cannot tell somebody what to say because you made no contribution to it. Just like I, suffering and building my own house, and you now tell me how much that to charge as a rent, it will not work. So government is just talking out of, from the point of ignorance.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Onosike. It's always a pleasure having you on the issues.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Have a great evening as we conclude today's edition of the issues. We thank you for joining us. And as much as a lot of comments and emotions have been driving on the program, we want to say that we are just here to do our job as journalists and, of course, as analysts to give their own point of view. And of course, the station also has the duty to just give the information. And that doesn't mean that we are taking stand on any conversation as it may. And of course, we also urge you to keep it civil anytime. And of course, I always know that whatever you say or do, definitely you need to have to hold account to it. All right, catch us again tomorrow at the same time on our YouTube channel, Voice of the People TV. Stay connected with us on our other social media platforms on at VOP TV Live. I am your host, Jerry Apelai. Good evening.